does not come anywhere close to opening day of the season. Sorry, opening Sunday of the season, I guess, because opening day took place a few days ago. So yeah, the NFL is back, baby, and oh my goodness, we are pumped. We're excited, and all the games are going to get going in about 22 minutes. But a couple of the games have already taken place. Let's talk about that. I know our fans here in the DFW Metroplex will be excited, maybe not for the final score, but be excited to talk about what transpired on Thursday, the opening game of the season. Cowboys at Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions. And, this was coming on the heels of giving away Micah Parsons, and there was a lot of talk about the defense is going to be terrible, and it's going to be a terrible game. The Cowboys are going to lose. The season's down the drain, all that good stuff. So, look, they did start off with a loss. The Eagles did win, but that's Jalen Hurts, man. All he does is win. But the Cowboys actually played pretty well. The second half notwithstanding, I think there was a lot of weirdness with the lightning delay, that turnover by Miles Sanders right before the lightning delay. They just seemed a little out of sorts. And then the big drop by CeeDee Lamb in that fourth quarter.
I think that's actually the biggest takeaway of the game for the Cowboys. He didn't have one big drop. He had like 3 or 4 big drops. And it makes me want to go, hey, Jera, maybe you should have traded CeeDee Lamb as opposed to Parsons. I'm serious.
Yeah. Look, I'm with you. So, full disclosure, I've got CeeDee Lamb on 2 of my fantasy football leagues. Because
he's going to produce stats in the fantasy league. He's a great fantasy player.
Exactly. Because in spite of those 3 or 4 big drops, 13 targets, 7 catches, 110 yards, right? Could have been a lot more.
From a fantasy perspective, CeeDee Lamb's a winner. He's just not a winner on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
and
I like totally different means of evaluating, but you just can't count on him when you need him to.
Absolutely. I mean, he reminds me of Stephon Diggs, right? The Bills had Stephon Diggs forever. And at the end of the year, you would look back and say, oh, yeah, 110, 120 catches, 14, 1,500 yards.
Stephon Diggs.
Well, let's not. We'll talk about that pain another time. But yeah, so you're exactly right. I think that's where we are with CeeDee Lamb, because I would look at the end of the season. I'm like, he had a great season. And most of the time, even at the end of the game, you'd say, oh, yeah, he had a great game. Except in the moments. Remember that big moment, he had a 65, 70-yard touchdown bomb that Josh Allen laid just perfectly in his hands, and he drops it against Kansas City. Kansas City goes on to win the Super Bowl, and Buffalo is sitting there once again, quote, not being able to overcome Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's the thing. CD is a stat producer, but in the big moments, he lets the moment get too big, because that was a great pass by Dak Prescott. I mean, it wasn't bad coverage, tight coverage. He dropped it right in. He hits him in the hands.
Look, Dak's got a lot of haters, okay, but he is not the reason why they lost that game. He would have been the reason why they won. He's certainly not the reason why they lost. And you can look at CeeDee Lamb and also some running game production. Okay, like Alex got to figure out. I mean, look, the Eagles are a salty team to run against. They're less salty without Jalen Carter in the middle.
Are we going to talk about Jalen Carter?
I don't want to. He's a look, man. He's a great football player, and he's got to learn how not to do stupid things. But I don't think he can because he's stupid.
Did you know the NFL came out and said they're not going to suspend him?
We already lost the game. All right, they're probably going to fine him. That's in line with past precedents about fining people who spit as opposed to suspending them. So, I mean, I get it. But, like, look, Carter is who he is. He's a great defensive tackle. Pretty sure he's not a great human being.
He's going to make plays for you on the field and then do something dumb, end up being not on the field. So that's
hey, look, but they won a Super Bowl with his talent, so I'm sure Philly will take the trade.
Exactly. All right. Well, so I think you and I are on the same page. We're not ones for moral victories, but if one were to take a moral victory, I think the Cowboys. This was a moral victory. This was a game. Not only they were in it, they should have won. They should have won.
Yeah, and their pass protection held up really well.
It did.
Yeah. So, and the rookie played a good game on the offensive line. So they've got to be encouraged by that. I mean, Philly's defensive line is not what it was last year. They lost a couple people.
Yep.
And obviously, as we mentioned, Carter wasn't there during the game. I think Dallas is going to win some games this year. I just don't think that's a. Yeah. Do you see Dallas breaking the streak of not being able to make a conference title game?
Oh no, not at all. Frankly, I think they're going to win some games, but I would be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised if they make the playoffs.
They're not. Yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, I can see them with the wild card team.
Yeah. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised if they make it through. So that's that. What did you make of AJ Brown and his no-show? So he had one catch, 6 yards. To me, the bigger story, AJ Brown has had slow starts to seasons. He has had games where he has disappeared like this from a production standpoint. But what really, really stood out to me this time was the lack of targets. He's had games where he had 1 or 2 catches, but he still had 6, 7, 8 targets. He was only targeted that one time that he caught for 8 yards. What did you make of that? Was that the Cowboys taking him away? Or
the Cowboys have some decent secondary members, and Hurts is not a throw you open type of quarterback. Right? Like, look, I like Jalen Hurts. I think he is a winner. But I mean, he threw the ball 23 times. It was 19 to 23, but he was 19 to 23 for 152 yards. That's less than 10 yards per completion.
Mm-hmm.
That means his depth of target's not that high. So they just controlled the game with. It was a Philadelphia offensive performance. They did a good job. They ran the ball a lot. They ran for more yards than they threw.
Yeah.
They ran for 4.2 yards per rush and 6.0 per pass, right? But they actually gained more yards on the ground. I think that because of the nature of Hurts as a QB, Brown's going to be real up and down.
All right.
I think he's a good wide receiver.
I hope, for the sake of one of my fantasy football teams where I do have AJ Brown on it, I hope that this was more the Dallas cornerbacks locking him down than the trend, because I'm going to be I spent a high draft pick in that league on him, and I'm going to be pretty disappointed if this is the output week in and week out. And I know that's not going to be the case. He's still AJ Brown. He's still young. This is still the Philadelphia offense. But man, I was really, really concerned with those. Again, it's not about the lack of catches. It's a lack of opportunities. The fact that they didn't even look his way, except for that one, that is really, really worrisome. But hey, before I go, so I've been live streaming that I'm about to end, but this is awesome. So I told you I was bringing a bunch of my jerseys. So I had Pakistan has that match against Afghanistan cricket. So I had my Pakistan jersey, and then on top of that, I tossed my Mississippi State jersey, maroon. And then just now on top of that, I put on my Josh Allen Buffalo Bills jersey, and I'm looking at the video feed, and this perfectly encompasses. So you can see I'm wearing the Josh Allen jersey, but underneath you can
What a
see the
game tonight.
maroon, and below that you can see the green. So this is awesome. I'm excited about that. Yeah, so let's talk about the Buffalo Bills coming up. I want to come back to the to Mahomes and the Chiefs on Friday night. After that,
I'm going to say something real quick about that because you mentioned fantasy football.
sure.
Spent some money on Xavier Worthy. He lasted 3 plays.
I'm sorry, man. You are snake bitten in that league. I think look, it's the NFL. We all have injuries in fantasy football, but I think the level of injuries that you have experienced over the years, it's a little insane.
It's like I'm a voodoo priest. If I draft you, watch out.
Yeah, that was I was watching that happen, on the third play of the game.
And it was his teammate. It was Kelsey because Kelsey couldn't get off his mesh.
Yep. Yeah, it was and it looks bad too. Like, and I don't think he's gonna be bad back.
Yeah, they haven't announced
soon.
what happened yet. The results of the X-ray is that he's out. So we'll see. I'll be on the waiver wire this week probably.
All right. Hey, I mean, we could always work out a trade. I'm always willing to look for a trade partner where it's completely advantageous to me.
I'm gonna be quiet.
For those of you who don't know, I am pretty well known for making. Look, I will defend my trade offers because guess what? The Dallas Cowboys, Javonte Williams, I was offering him up to a bunch of folks leading into the game. And what did he do?
Only there were a phrase for that, devil's advocate. But anyways, continue.
All he did was score 20 fantasy points, 2 touchdowns in the first 13 minutes of the game. So I was offering up something good to a bunch of folks who turned it down. So it's their loss, not mine, buddy. That's all I got to say, at least for this week. Now, watch him end the season with 3 total touchdowns. But we, yep. All right. So the Buffalo Bills